Hi there, I'm Max Doolin. I'm the founder of the Spokane Cyber Cup, and we're really excited to have you this year. Now, you're probably wondering, what is this event? Why am I going? Why are you so excited about it? Now, when I was trying to learn cybersecurity as a senior in college at Gonzaga in 2019, I was really frustrated at the time. I remember I would read all these articles and stuff would be confusing. I would try various hacking challenges and get stuck. And I would either spend weeks working on a challenge only to not solve it and look up the solution, and either feel bad because I could have solved it and I should have, or I had no idea what was going on. I never would have solved it in a million years, and I felt really dumb. And worst of all, I had no one to help me with this. I was completely isolated. So I decided I wanted to create an event that I would have wanted for myself when I was trying to learn. It turns out cybersecurity is pretty hard. So what I created was the Spokane Cyber Cup, which we can see right here. Now there are two things that I think make this event really special. First, we have a really awesome curated list of challenges. In the 4 years we've done this event in the past, every year all the challenges have been solved, and I'm super proud of that. That indicates that we're making challenges that you, the student, are able to solve. That's really cool. And if you're thinking, well, that means they're too easy, I would disagree. Some challenges are pretty easy, but they're teaching basic concepts. Some are hard, but given the time, and the space, the hints, the direction, I think we can solve a lot of things. So we haven't made stuff that's too hard, but we've also taught some things that are really complicated in just very clever ways. We have an amazing set of challenges this year, so even if you feel like you're pretty well versed in this stuff, I guarantee you're going to see a bunch of stuff you've never seen before, and I'm really excited about that. The second thing, and probably the most important thing that makes this event amazing, are the coaches. When I was trying to learn, I wish I had people who could have looked over my shoulder and helped me at the time. But I wasn't that lucky. With this event, you are that lucky, though. I have brought in security professionals from places like Microsoft, Meta, Security Innovation, Optiv, STCU Bank in Spokane, and I'm really excited about that. These coaches want to help you learn, and they're professionals at this stuff. They know what they're doing. You don't know what SQL is? Coach will happily explain that to you. Don't know what cross-site scripting is? A coach will sit there and show you and demonstrate what it is to you. Maybe you're really close to solving a challenge. Really, really close. Then they'll help you with that. So, what is the capture the flag competition anyway? If you remember from elementary school where there's two teams and you're trying to get the physical flag, run it back to your side, it's kind of a similar thing. But in more of a meta way, the flag in that is a demonstration that you were able to go to their side and take their sacred item. That's the big thing that's interesting about this. In computer land, instead of it being a physical flag, it is a piece of information that demonstrates that you did something correctly. I'll be explaining what that means in a little bit. So, for this event, I have three main goals for you. First, I want you to learn. Even though this is phrased as a competition, the main reason I picked it as a competition is because I want you to try. The harder you try, the more you're going to get out of it. I can guarantee that. This, at its core, this is a learning event. We have coaches who want to see you succeed. We want you to get excited about this stuff. Second, it's a good networking opportunity. I had a friend who was a coach who will remain nameless that ended up asking a student to do a physical penetration test of his office in Spokane. Now, that was a really cool opportunity for this student. I've seen people get jobs from this event. I've asked people to work at my company from this event. So talk to people, talk to students, talk to coaches. It's a really good networking opportunity. Finally, have fun. I really want you to enjoy yourself, to meet awesome people, and to enjoy these challenges. I want you to get those dopamine hits from solving these sorts of awesome programming hacking challenges. That dopamine hit is what I still crave when I'm trying to hack interesting things. So now we're going to cover some logistics for the event. For the event itself, this is going to be at the Eastern Washington Computer Science Building, which is right across the street from Gonzaga in downtown Spokane. Even though it's hosted by Eastern Washington, It is not in Cheney. It's in downtown Spokane. This is at the Catalyst building, and if you look up this address, you'll find it. Once you get there, you'll want to know where to park. And there's going to be parking directly in front. But for those parking, you'll need a parking pass. So you'll go in, get a parking pass, and be able to park there. As a result, carpooling or walking if you're from Gonzaga is really appreciated because there are only 75 parking spots for the event. There's parking around the streets there that is free though, so keep that in mind. For the event itself, the check-in time is between 8 and 8:30. Between 8:30 and 9, we'll be talking about the rules, how stuff works, and be given tips and hints and various other things. Please get there on time, because if you get there late, it's going to be really hard to catch up. We'll be taking a lunch break sometime around noon, and we'll have breaks scattered throughout so your brain doesn't get too fried. I forgot to do a break one year, and man, people were really dead. I don't want that to happen again. This year, we have an amazing speaker. We have YouTuber Lori Wired. I forgot to pull this up, but Lori Wired. Lori is a cybersecurity professional who works at Microsoft, who is doing amazing stuff. Although her YouTube channel, like this one has 40K views, this one has 2.5, but her stuff is nuts. Her graphics, her content is absolutely amazing, and I'm confident she's going to give an amazing talk for this event. That'll be at lunchtime for this. We'll also have snacks and coffee and various other things, but it is recommended that you bring your own snacks. Speaking of things you need, it is recommended that you bring a laptop with a charger, bring extension cords, and power strips, because we don't have enough of those to provide for you guys, so please bring those for yourselves. We prefer that you bring your own laptop, and we think that most students in this field will have one, but there is a computer science lab if that is not an option for you. Most of the time, the high school students do go there for that. So those are most of the logistics for the event. Now I'm going to talk about the challenges and what we actually expect for these. So the goal of every challenge is to demonstrate that you know something or you understand some concept. And there are kind of 4-ish main types of challenges. But before we actually dive into an actual challenge, I'm going to show you what a flag actually looks like. So most of the time, a flag is going to be something like this. This year is SC5 because it's the Spokane Cyber Cup 5. And it's going to be some text in the middle. Now, once you've demonstrated you know something, you will be given this string. And this string is what you will actually enter into the scoreboard to demonstrate that. Once you've done this, you have scored points for said event. Or for said challenge. Now, this is a challenge from last year's event that I'm showing you, so you don't need to know that one. Now, there are different types of challenges, and they can be categorized into a few different categories. The first one is web. These are web security issues. In this challenge, I'm going to demonstrate an attack known as local file inclusion. So here, I'm going to look for this, and this is taking a file from the local system that I shouldn't be able to read and printing it out to us. So in this case, we have demonstrated that we understand the concept of a local file inclusion. Therefore, we've been given the flag. And I didn't show this, but I can show this. With all this stuff, we have a prompt. And this prompt is very guiding of what you should do. So it says, web application written in PHP simply displays cats. The user can upload their own images. This time, you can only store files of cats. The second one of the challenge. The flag is in the root directory flag.txt, which is what I showed, and it gives you the hint how files being pulled from the server. And I think this is a really important thing to point out because this hint really gives away a lot of the stuff. The goal isn't to trick you. The goal is to really understand stuff. So when you're looking at the prompt, looking at the hints, really take that stuff seriously because we're giving you we want you to succeed. We want you to solve these challenges. The second type of challenge is an SSH challenge. Now, with these types of challenges, you'll need to log in via SSH and via different ports. So in this case, we have SSH-P. -P is specifying the port. Right now I have this set up locally, but for the event you'll have an actual domain. So for this we have a username, and for every SSH challenge the username and password will be the same. And if I do press me, we're put into this prompt. Now I can also make this a little bit bigger. So if I try to just cat the flag, it doesn't work. The reason for this is because we needed to solve something. So here we have a C file, and you can read the source code. You cannot alter the source code, but you can read it. And your goal is to find a way to get the program to print the flag. In this case, the only time the flag is printed is when we have a particular score. However, the score is completely unreasonable to reach, and so there's a hacky way we can do this. I'm not going to explain what I'm doing. Actually, I guess I can. We have kind of like a fault injection kind of issue here. So when I save the game, I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to continue from the slot, and then I can check the score. If you've ever seen like Pokemon, like the original Pokemon speedruns where you can like pull out the cartridge, you turn it off in the middle of saving. That's what I was trying to get at here. This is a challenge from last year. You'll notice once I completed the objective of getting a really high score, I got the flag. This is an SSH challenge. This is a pretty common one as well. Now, the final type of challenge is a challenge. It's actually the third type of challenge. It's a challenge where we need to interact with the server directly, not via web protocol. In this case, we can use something like netcat. Netcat is considered the Swiss Army knife of networking tools. So for this, I do netcat, the IP or domain. In this case, it's running locally. And then the port. And you'll be given all this information. Now, I'm going to type in some input, and you'll notice that we get some response back. Now, the point of this is that I don't want you to read the source code. I don't want you to be able to mess with the system. In this type of challenge, you're meant to only interact with this remotely. That's a very key thing for this. The final type of challenge is a little bit weird, and we'll make it very clear when we have this type of challenge. This is a challenge where the flag isn't going to be something like SC5 ... With these types of challenges, it may be a value, it may be a location. So for instance, maybe the challenge is just what is 5 plus 4? Now, the solution to this is going to be 9, of course. So the flag is just going to be 9. You can assume that all flags are going to be something like SC5 unless it's explicitly stated. Cool. So we've gone through that, and now I can go back here. So for the challenge, for the CTF itself, we're going to be using a scoreboard called CTFD. For CTFD, I actually don't know what it shows here, but we can see that there's different point amounts, and people are ranked according to this. For a capture the flag competition, and there's different challenges, and every challenge has a certain difficulty, which means they're worth different amount of points. The more points a challenge is worth, the more difficult it is. So it's recommended to start with lower point challenges or things that you're more familiar with, because you'll do better with those. Some of the challenges have a tier system, meaning that there's multiple sets of them. So for instance, we have cats from last year. There's cats 1, cats 2, and cats 3. On the scoreboard, it will only show you one of those at a time because you need to complete one to get to the next one. But because it's a series, it will say 1 out of 4. So you'll know which one in the series. I find that the series are actually easier because you understand the objective better going through it. But the series will likely get harder as it goes throughout. So keep that in mind. Now, for some other tips. If you need help, please ask for it. We have so many coaches. I think last year we had 23 coaches. This year we have 30. So we have way more people who are able to help you. So if you don't understand something, ask. They're not going to give you or spoon feed it to you, but they're going to push you in the right direction. They're going to mess with your way of thinking and try to flip the evil bit, per se. Please read the prompt fully. If you read the challenge, read the source code, read the prompt, that'll help a lot. They're huge, huge, huge hints. Even just Googling the prompt is a good strategy sometimes. Google is your friend. It's not cheating to use Google. For some ground rules, don't cheat. What do you mean by that? You're allowed to work with your people on your team, but don't give flags to other people. Try not to give hints to other people. At the end of the day, this is a competition, and I want to make sure this is treated that way. Now, the coaches are going to be walking around with a solution guide. It's going to be a big piece of paper. Do not touch that. If I see students with that, I would be very upset. So please don't do that. I guess I forgot to mention this in logistics, so I'll mention it now. If you're coming in as a team, then you only really need the one person to check in, but we want everyone to have name tags to make it easier for everyone. If you're an individual, then you'll find your team the day of, but I will be sending an email to each team, kind of putting those together. I'm really excited for that. I think a lot of people make friends from working with new people. So, this is the Spokane Cyber Cup. This is an event that I created out of thin air because I wanted people to get better at cybersecurity in a way that I felt was going to be the easiest way. My goal is for you to learn as much as possible, network, and have an amazing time doing it. I hope that you love hacking and really appreciate it at the end of the day. I do it professionally, and I love it, and I really want to see more people get into it. So thank you so much for your time. Please email me if you have any particular questions. Thanks.